I know one thing that constantly challenges and convicts myself is this idea of once you have high-powered or influential clients, big name clients, is this reminder that we can be passing by, literally stepping over or walking by people on a day-to-day basis, that we could impact just as much. And we often chase, or we want to tweet this or post this, and you see trainers and mentors all the time. We're always looking for this, hey, this post will get me 1,000 likes. Right. However, this person I walked by, if I could just get one like from them. And so I just, I know it's the same with you as you're walking through your journey in your church and this and that, and so many people will see some of these things on Instagram and posts and everybody's talking about you, but I'm just always encouraged by, I know behind the scenes. I see when you walk out of church, hugging people, holding people, the coffee conversations, the phone calls, the late night rides, and I just think it's something a lot of young trainers and coaches and stuff need to hear, that there's just every day there's a moment we're always looking for that bigger thing, or we feel like we justify what we're doing, or it magnifies how good we are if we get so-and-so, or if I'm training so-and-so, or if so-and-so is supporting me. But
you can't forsake the process. You can get by for a little bit, but eventually if you skip steps, it will kill you. Like if you build a house and you just forgot the foundation, you could probably sell the house, probably get a family to move in that thing, but the moment any weather comes, that's when you find out that you skipped something in the foundational process. And our process is people. It'll always be people. And what comes with the people is great. Yeah, if you get a famous NBA All-Star, awesome. But would you put the same time and the same effort and the same love into somebody who's anonymous? Because we know through life experience, God has a really interesting way of not looking for superstars, but looking for faithful people. So if you just keep on doing what's in front of you, it's amazing kind of what develops out of that. And it just reminds you what you do it for. Like, you didn't start this journey to have your own thing, this big worldwide platform where you're doing camps over here, you're going to the Middle East, doing camps here, NBA guys all want to learn. You didn't start with that in mind. You started fulfilling your call, being faithful to what God put in your heart, and just wanting to help people. And this stuff developed from that. You can't go for the end game and then get around to the loving people part. Like, you got to love what you do, and you'll never work another day in your life. We believe that. There's work in there, obviously, but you can't forsake the process, and you can't manufacture passion. Those things you have to look at and go, how can I create this in a way that is going to be sustainable? And you do it better than anybody I know. I mean, I could put you in a gym with my daughters, which I have, and you are the same intensity level with Ava that you are with KD or whoever it may be. And I think that's what's special about life. Every moment matters, and that's why I'm glad you're going to be teaching people these principles, because they're not about basketball. They're about life. Hopefully you can work with more guys like me, because there's not, what do you do with a Lamborghini? You shine the rims. That's what it's like training guys like me.
I remember one of my favorite stories or times with you is, in New York or Virginia Beach, wherever we were, walking on the streets and coming across an outdoor court and seeing a couple people playing and having them challenge us two white guys to play.
Murder, she wrote.
And before you know it, of course, we dominate. And
no, let me just tell this story. In Brooklyn, we were shooting around, minding our own business, and some young OG looked down at us and he's like, y'all want to play? We were trying to be cool. We're like, nah, we don't really want to play shooting. Like, what, y'all scared? And I'm like, no, of course we're not scared. We'll come down there and beat the brakes off you right now in front of your girlfriend, because that's how quickly grace and compassion get lost. And we played one game. First shot, you made a 3. Second shot, you dunked on this guy so bad where one of his shoes fell off. People ran all over the court. This is in Brooklyn, New York City. And then we just took the ball and left. It's probably one of the greatest things I've ever been a part of. I feel like I had a part in it because I threw it inbounds, Yeah. Go ahead.
But no, I just remember those times of playing, of course.
Who loses a shoe when you get dunked on? That guy.
And fast forwarding through it, at the end, of course, I'm coming up to, hey, who are you guys? What's your background? What you're doing? And before you know it, the conversation shifts to, hey, I'm a pastor of church. We're inviting these people to church. We're talking about Jesus. And I just always remember basketball being one of the greatest bridges to Jesus and faith. And I think there's some encouragement in that what we have in our hands, can be these bridges to a lot of things, and it's not something else. Like, God has gifted us with something so special, and it can tie. I don't know if you can speak into that a little bit more.
I think
but like,
you can shift from like basketball being your boss to basketball being your slave much better, where basketball doesn't own you, you own basketball. And when you see like a young person get that, for instance, like, so if you talk to somebody in high school, college, and their whole thing is like, I want to make it to the pros and I want to be this, and that's cool. There's a level there where that's great. But the higher level is good. No, I'm going to use basketball to stand on top of it, where I'm going to use it as a platform. I'm going to use it as a bridge. I mean, us playing ball all these years, we're talking to people that we would never be able to talk to. We're reaching people that we have nothing in common with other than the love of this silly game. And I think that's, to me, is like the underneath the surface level of what basketball can be, is a culture changer, it's a bridge builder. And that's why you are a cut above when it comes to this stuff, because you can get a lot of guys who can do basketball's basketball, church is church, working out's working out. But what you teach people to do is, I'm gonna make you the best player, but now what? Most guys, that's their job. I made you a good player. You're trying to say, I made you a good player. Now what are you gonna do with it? And that to me is what is the essence of life, is no longer being a slave to an identity, but actually standing on top of that and going, I'm gonna use this for a better purpose, which is to help people.